Hey guys, this is Angela with Always Angela. We're here for another episode of The Walking Dead review. This week's episode of The Walking Dead is Season 6, Episode 11. Going into it, I didn't think that AMC could trump last week's. I don't think they trumped it, but they did make it interesting. A lot of little twists here and there. The first thing we see opening up in episode 11 was a lot of tension between Sasha and Abraham. But for some reason, Sasha pushes Abraham away, which I don't quite get. They would be so cute together. I mean, we know they like each other, especially with Abraham's flashbacks to Sasha throughout the episode. But then we find out that Abraham is shacking up with G.I. Jane Rosita. I'm not happy about, I like her, but I don't. I think him and Sasha would make a better couple. But I guess in the zombie apocalypse, beggars can't be choosers. You're gonna shag whoever you can during that time. I do love how Carl is so comfortable with his dad and Michonne getting together. It didn't seem to bother him at all, which I think is really grown up and awesome about him. One thing that happened during this episode that I didn't like was that Rick never seems to show love. There's no hugs, there's no kisses. He just handed Carl Judith and left. I really do wish that he would show a little more tenderness to his son. I think Carl definitely needs it. I did find it really funny how going up to the Hilltop community, Jesus was telling Rick and them that there's other communities out there besides theirs. I think that's funny because throughout this time of them running around, traveling to different locations, they've never came up upon a community like the one they're at now. But Jesus says, oh, you have no idea what's out there? That means there's more communities. So why hasn't Rick or Michonne or anybody been able to find any of these communities before? Then we met Gregory. Now, Gregory comes off as a really chauvinistic pig of a man to me. He reminds me kind of like the mayor. He's in charge, very creepy. He wants things done his way. I do think it's really good that Rick gave the leadership position to Maggie. You know, Maggie is always shown to be a very strong leader. She's got a lot of leadership qualities in her. And now that she's pregnant, I think that she's going to miss out on a lot of different adventures with the group. She's going to have to stay behind on a lot of things. So I think it's great she's stepping up into this leadership position to where she can delegate what happened, do negotiations, things like that. And she really proved in this episode that she could pull that off. Not only was the chauvinistic pig Gregory telling Maggie that she could basically work, meaning sex slave in my eyes, off of a possible debt they would owe him, but she stood up to him. She was like, listen here, that shit ain't going down. I think it's awesome that in that type of situation that she was able and had the balls to stand up to him. And then later turning around and going, you know what, we want half of everything you have, and then getting it. She really showed that she can pull it off and be the leader of the group, which I love that it was someone other than Rick. The attack on Hilltop was unfortunate, but it was really badass. I mean, Rick's group went in, took it down, took care of everything like it should have been done. And you do get to see Michonne get really possessive over Rick and basically protect him. She really showed in this episode that she is his ride or die bitch. And she ain't going anywhere. She's protected her man, hands down, and I love it. One thing I did put together in this episode is that Gregory is in charge, or is at least the face of the community. But if you really listen to the episode and watch it again, you'll see that the person that really runs the show is the Jesus character. He's the one that does all the footwork. He's going to be running around making deals. Even when Gregory made a decision and said, this is how it's going to be, he said, you know what? Let me talk to Gregory. I'll figure it out. So that really shows me that he has a lot more control over the community of what happens and what doesn't. Gregory, I think, is just the face of it. You know, he's the person that you put up on the stage that says, yes, this is our community. But I do believe that it's Jesus that actually runs the show 100%. I do think for that reason, it's going to come into Rick's benefit later on. Him and Jesus are on an okay kind of note right now. So if they need anything in the future, I think he'll be able to get it from the Hilltop community because of Jesus, not because of Gregory. I have definitely realized that I like Jesus a lot more than I did last episode. Last episode, I wasn't sure about him. I didn't like him. Creepy little suspicious dude. But this episode, I really do like. He's growing on me anyway. The last thing that I love in this episode is Abraham. Abraham, I have always thought that he was a dumb jarhead of a man. As each episode goes by, I find out that I love him. He has all my sayings from down south. His sayings like wearing galoshes, Ugg and Bumplies, and my all-time favorite, pouring the biscuit. jokes. They're very similar to things that my family and friends have known me to say my whole life. Who pissed in your cornflake? Go fuck a duck. And my favorite one, eat a dick and die. I think me and Abraham in a future life would get along very well. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Mwah.